And a good evening to you from Cameron Indoor Stadium as we continue this great weekend of ACC sports. Duke is back home after quite a road trip. The 11th ranked Blue Devils hosting the Seattle University Redhawks the day after Thanksgiving. And a happy Thanksgiving. We hope it was for all of you, Kevin Brown. Let's raise the roof on this. Let's all move forward. Duke's looking to advance to 5-2 with a howitzer game against Auburn next Wednesday here at Cameron. They're back home and they're in possession first. Tony Henderson, Tommy Morrissey, and Les Jones are our officials on this Friday night. Caleb Foster into Kaman Malawaj, part of this fabulous freshman class for Duke. And Foster will get the first look. And he'll bury a three. That is a great sign for Duke in the opening possession.
That's the one thing. They have not shot the basketball well. You know, I thought coming into the year, Duke was going to have multiple 35 to 40% three-point shooters. And it just hasn't bared out that way. And Caleb Foster, one of those guys. You know, Caleb Foster, Mason Gillis.
Foster and Gillis, 7 and Sexton, Braden Maldonado, John Christopoulos, the guards, Malik Goma, and M.A. Moncrief, the bigs. And Moncrief's 2 missed free throws end up in a basket anyway. It's Goma lost in the dying seconds to Kentucky and Kansas on neutral floors. Proctor's pass intercepted. A takeaway for the lead guard, Malik Arrington. Moncrief into the body of flag, and he scores it. Andrew Moncrief for an early Seattle lead. Foster then into Knipple. A 3 for Con Knipple as Foster.
Division opponents than the top 25 teams Duke has played. In fact, in the 2 losses to Arizona and Kentucky, Con Knipple 1 of 16 from 3. But again, in that Kansas game, you go back and watch that game. He had a lot of open ones which John Shire said, we're good. We can live with that. Those are eventually going to go.
Yeah, 0 for 8 3, but he was happy with the 8 looks, and he also loves what Knipple can do.
To a guy who's shooting 50% from 3. You know, you've got to take open looks. That 3-point shot for Duke has got to be a weapon come January, February, and March.
Maldonado gets hit and fouled by Knipple shooting 3s. So Braden Maldonado.
Like, you're not going to convince Cooper of his hands. Basketball. I think they're working too hard to get their shot.
M.A. Moncrief with the rebound.
And I think that's a settle for Cooper Flag. It's one of the reasons he's not getting to the foul line as much. He's only taken about 4 free throws a game, which is a low number given his usage and skill set.
That ball floated up and in by Malik Arlington, the junior from Auburn, Washington, and off the Maldonado free throws and the Arlington 2. Seattle's back in front after 6 minutes and change. Proctor and Flag, the 2 starters on the floor right now for Duke. On a hard drive by Proctor will send him to the line going in.
Nice drive there by Malik Arrington.
Right before the season at 21, got the full-time job shortly thereafter.
He garners respect. He's 24 years old, but he's also 24 years old. Like, at some time, he'll make a play.
Back to the line where the Redhawks have scored now.
That he makes. He just such a force multiplier when he's out there.
Has he fit the role you expected him to so far?
Yeah, I think so. In spades. And he gives them, you know, he gives them a different look.
Foster nearly overthrew it for Gillis, who recollects for Duke. As Malawaj back on the floor after the good minutes for Brown. Great vision by Foster, and Knipple in the corner drains it.
All year. And as poorly as they've shot it, overall, they are all still threats. None more than Knipple.
8 of the 15 so far. Moncrief, a really difficult shot, and plays the angle off. A little unnoticed in this incredible freshman class. And very quickly to talk to folks who were at Duke practices preseason. They were blown away by Knipple. And he has been much more than a shot maker for them in the early going.
Well, he was 0 for 8 in that game against Kansas and still controlled the game for Duke.
Malawaj inside for Proctor with a 2.
18 from 3, and then went on a tear.
Christopoulos passes up the 3. This is a Duke team that has been mainly excellent defensively this year. Second in the nation adjusted defensive efficiency, only to Tennessee. Arrington, a foul there with 6 to shoot.
They're doing a good job finishing.
Come to follow Virginia and Virginia Tech. Terrific year it's been for Manny Diaz and the Blue Devils football team. Wake Forest 4-7. Duke could get to 9-3 with a victory tomorrow. Proctor for 3. More than the 17-year-old, and Cooper played him well. Christopoulos, reputation as a good three-point shooter, hasn't got one off yet. And Brown with the smother from behind
To start this game, well, in this first half.
I thought it was the turkey, but I think your reality may be more accurate. There's Cooper Flagg's first bucket after an 0-for-3 start. Number 1 freshman in the country, Cooper Flagg, and this is the largest lead for Duke. It has been a very slow expansion of that lead. They've held Seattle to 4-for-14 shooting and 6 turnovers. And Seattle now 0-for-5 from 3. Moncrief with a foul. Got entangled with Flagg. M.A. Moncrief with his first.
That's the one thing. Young bodies, like they're not a big team. In fact, Kansas.
And Cooper Flagg's going up against Hunter Dickinson, who's literally 7 years older than him. Harris, Adams, the physicality of Kansas. Duke hung in there. There's a foul as Gungle out for the drive. But John Shire told us that my freshman year.
Well, that was the most interesting part about talking to Shire. Freshman in the NCAA tournament to VCU. He lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament paired to win a national championship. You've got to do that now in a shorter timetable. Like, he's got Cooper Flagg 1 year. You've got to speed up that timetable.
Flagg gets his way to the rim physically. Foul is the 3rd on Dan. So the schedule for you, Zanuck.
Just as a fan. Duke going to find out.
Who's now 0-for-2 on dunks. Flagg runs the screen for Proctor. Flagg on the roll. Flagg flips it for James. And Cooper soars in for the offensive rebound, and he is fouled. Great Cooper Flagg. He's now 4-for-5 at the line. But Duke's going to get the floor with James, Proctor, Flagg, and then more first half minutes for Evans. James is getting plenty of space. That's a long 2. Tommy Lawrence. Deshaun Stevens will hoist one from deep and hit Seattle's first triple. Not sure where that is on the play sheet for Chris Victor.
Sion James looks surprised.
Flagg fouled again. Late whistle. He'll shoot 2 more. I think he beats criminals to a pulp with his fists. As we were discussing it, Flagg goes 1-for-2. Moncrief stays in the
Rebounds in the Arizona game. I mean, he kind of does whatever is necessary.
Warriors at Tulane. Moncrief fouled by Monowatch. That will send Moncrief to the line for 1-1. Up to 12 now in free throw attempt.
I remember doing his games that year. They were a tournament team.
James will drive it into 2. Sets up Foster, whose 3 is rebounded by Brown thanks to a tip from Flagg. And then Evans cans a triple.
And you love that he hasn't played, but he comes in to make an impact.
James rips it away. Down the court for Flagg. James again, this time charged a little too hard. Sion James hit with his first foul. Today, a whole bunch of great women's games as well. Vandy, Miami, Mississippi, looking like Louisville again, and a very impressive showing. Virginia in overtime yesterday. Another great ACC win today was Pitt on a Zach Austin 3 at the buzzer, 91-90 at Ohio State. Deep in the shot clock again. The final minute of the half. Arrington bounces. Gomar will finish. Malik Arrington now has all 3 of Seattle's assists.
The ability to get into the paint and a really nice drop-off pass.
Brown from Proctor. Brown kicks it. Evans missed it. Flag saved it. Deep one from Proctor is good. Unlimited range for Tyrese Proctor, and another offensive rebound for Cooper Flag.
And an assist off of that offensive rebound. That's twice he did that. Offensive board to a 3.
Redhawks are trying to hold for the final shot of a disjointed first half. Dawson will step in. Dawson to the teeth of the Duke defense. No. And appropriately, the half ends with a stop. Duke holds Seattle to 26.
Playing inside out. I mean, both 2 feet in the paint, throwing out to an open shooter, which Seattle has given up so far in this game and just can't connect.
Step back 3 for Maldonado. Seattle is 5 for 27 from 3 Tuesday. The loss to Furman. 1 for 8 tonight. Spinorama from Foster. Only 2 baskets, the first of the game and the first of the second half. Largest lead again for Duke. Christopoulos did not score in that first half. Foster gets a piece of that one. Ends up in the hands of Flag, and Foster the recipient. Monowatch with a quiet night so far. 4 and 3 in 11 minutes. Flag will get it to him. That's not quiet. That's different. Moncrief against Knipple, spinning around him into Flag and Malowatch. Good distribution, but Goma couldn't finish. And here's Flag again. Great find in transition and a Proctor 3. That's like Carrot Top Plus from Kobe Williamson.
It's about a 9 on that stash, too.
Proctor slicing and another foul. Mind of the regular season that has been owned by the Hokies in recent decades. Broadcast from Dan Bonner.
Dan Bonner killed me during the broadcast.
It was your 17th career start. Evans, a rim rocker.
And John Shire is interesting saying today he has earned the right to play. He has practiced really well.
On the blow by Maldonado, gets fouled, and he will try to. And Braden Maldonado, State University of Denver, Division II school. Moncrief, all kinds of trouble there. Going to the freshman stood him up. M.A. Moncrief 2 for 8 with a couple of turnovers. Catch and shoot Evans. We'll look for Evans again. Out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. North Mecklenburg High School. James, hard to the rack, and a foul. He can play James as the only guard on the floor. He can play James with fight.
I asked Will Stevens, the strength coach for Duke, I said, does he need to lose some weight? Like, is he too big? And he said he's about 2% body fat. There's nothing to lose. I mean, there's...
Portal can bring. Foster again. Midway through the second half, Duke has allowed 4 points in the half, all on free throws, and count that bucket for Kaman Malowatch. Johnson with a foul.
If you come over vertical, if you try to come and take a charge 95% of the time.
All in the last year plus.
It's a good question. I don't know. The thing I have noticed about the change in the rule is that officials are erring much more side on the side of calling that a block than they were the alternative with the old rule calling it a charge. In other words, I think...
Here's Moncrief. Seattle one made field goal in the half, and Moncrief is tied up, so he'll shoot a 1-and-1.
Duke's run. I think they either tied it or took the lead.
3 this year. Moncrief. Duke led by 12 in the half there, plus 12 in the second. Knipple. He's a shooter. For 3 for Knipple, who's got 11 points.
And that's a good takeaway if you're Duke. Maybe that gets him on a little bit of a run here.
Nice slip from Goma. Dawson with a fine. Goma missed at the rim. Kicks out to Cooper Flagg. 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and there is a charge play. Almost shooting at 2 for 7, 3 turnovers, but the 9 rebounds, 7 assists, so some good. Come back for Flagg in his 7th college game. Christofilos finally gets on the score sheet after 0 for 4. And the stick back not there. That's Darren Harris, the freshman, getting his first run tonight. Dawson again. He has been fired away, and he finally gets one to go.
Dan is a big boy.
6'10", 228 freshman from China. Jeez. There's a blocking foul call.
Knipple was there in legal guarding position. I think you need to bring those guys back in this game.
61-40 is the number. Next game for Duke, Wednesday, Auburn comes to town. SEC ACC Challenge. Auburn, who has been arguably, and maybe some would say not even arguably, the best team in the country so far, just blitzed its way through the Maui Invitational Field.
You know, it's interesting. And none better than that guy. He's had a...
And here's the good thing for Duke. They already kind of know what they are. As James is...
Or does he give you maybe some scoring punch that minutes? Like, you need your best players out there.
64-40 with 5.5 to go. They have not shot it well. 41%, 27 from 3, but they've held Seattle to 23%. And 20% from 3. Christofilos against Evans. Step back 3 and no good. Strong rebound by Dan, and then he's fouled. And the one thing
that they have played,
soon they'll be
historically, Clemson can struggle a little bit in non-conference. They get better in conference play, and then, you know, they make an Elite 8 like last year. I think Wake Forest will continue to get better. Their point guard play has not been great. And as a result, I don't think Hunter Salas has had the start that we all expected. But I think they'll continue to get better.
Dan got help. Virginia and Miami, for various reasons, have both really struggled.
And part of it is Nigel.
His mom, by the way, is the all-time leading scorer at George Washington, 21-34 points. Evans draws a contact. Evans will get to the line. Hoping to take away for John Shire. Your offensive mojo back.
Athletic, the bigger teams, the Kentuckys, Arizona, and Kansases. That's when the... Yeah, I mean, but again, against them with some set stuff. But they are creating open shots. No doubt about that.
Does 18 assists on 22 field goals, even in a game like this, feel particularly notable?
Yeah, the number of guys who have an assist tonight. Like, he throws it to a guy who's open, and that player misses the shake. Making a point there, Spencer. The crowd erupted.
Had to stop it. Harris would like to get some up as well. You got 3 freshmen on the floor, plus Gillis and Hubbard. Gumba against Dan, and he finally got it to drop. Across the timeline with 70 seconds to go. The lead notably is 26 for Duke. Evans 3. In and out. Seattle gets to head back home after his long road trip. Dan fouled. 3 of their 44 at the line. And Dan adds another. And this is going to help Duke's second-ranked defensive efficiency in the country as they've held Seattle to 19.6% shooting. Hubbard, no. Left it on the 10. Dawson. Here's the 10th-made field goal for Seattle. The Redhawks 4-3. And we'll look to see how Seattle does in WAC play, trying to dethrone Grand Canyon, which has been hard to do. But ultimately, Duke is going to come out of this with a victory. They're going to shake hands before the game's even over. That's sportsmanship. A grinded-out Black Friday affair. Duke wins it 70-48. And next on tap for Jon Scheyer's Blue Devils. A few days off, and then a big one with Auburn on Wednesday.
Back at it. Yeah, that will be a big one. This place will be on.